Many wonder why such a flawed former president, twice impeached president, a president with 91 counts against him, a president that has lost many battles in court for his dishonesty, his illegalities, etc. A president who cares nothing about women, a president who demeans women, demeans others, a president who has racist proclivities, xenophobic proclivities. How can that be the person that is given a president like Biden a run? Yes, I understand that the president's left flank is concerned about Israel because they think he's wrong about Israel. There are many issues that concerns the left flank. But even with a concerned left flank, how can a Donald Trump be in the game with the president? Well, I want to show you an interview that Dana Bash did with Tim Scott, and one that he did with a Democratic senator. And you'll understand how the message from the media actually elevates Trump, and not only that, acts as an agent for Trump, as it pretty much demeans the president's accomplishments. Check this out, and we'll take it on the other side.
We have the most inclusive economy, 7 million new jobs, the lowest unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, a 70-year low for women, and a 50-year low for the majority population. That during the Trump years, we also didn't have an invasion of Ukraine. Hamas was not burning, decapitating, killing kids and raping women in Israel. We had a stronger economy, a healthy military, and a safer world. When I compare and contrast, the only conclusion is Donald Trump.
Senator Nikki Haley said yesterday in New Hampshire that she was disappointed. Did you call her beforehand, give her a heads up? Have you talked to her since? I want to start, though, with what you heard from your colleague in the Senate, Tim Scott. Your reaction.
Well, Dana, I respect my colleague, my friend, Tim Scott of South Carolina, but I was struck by a number of things he said this morning. One is exactly not true. He claimed that the economy was better under former President Trump. In fact, the stock market hit an all-time high on Friday. We have unemployment below 4% for the longest stretch in 50 years. President Biden has presided over the creation of 14 million new private sector jobs, and only two American presidents in the last century, Donald Trump and Herbert Hoover, left office with fewer Americans working than when they started. Joe Biden has presided over a strong and a robust economy that's great for middle-class Americans. Donald Trump did not.
Can I just push back on that a little bit because you brought it up? What you said about the data, it may not be wrong, but you know better than I do, the way people feel is how they vote. And despite all of those accomplishments, President Biden is having trouble breaking through with voters, but particularly working class voters, young voters, those who he historically has had as part of his coalition. They're not feeling it. How does the campaign need to change strategy so that they feel it and they don't just hear it and see it on data points?
So there you go. Dana Bash initially asks Tim about the former president's accomplishments, or she gave him a platform to talk about the former president's accomplishment, Donald Trump's accomplishments, which he completely lied about, and she moved on. She never questioned what Scott had to say. But then came the Democratic response to what Scott had to say, and then articulating the successes of the president. And what's her response? Well, you know, that the data that you're given is true, but people are not feeling it. Well, people are not feeling it. They say they're feeling it for themselves, but they're concerned for it for everybody else. And the reason they're doing that is that the way you cover the news is to allow the lights to go unchecked while allowing the truth to be to be maligned. In other words, yes, we acknowledge that what you're saying, Senator Coons, it's true. But do you know that people are not feeling that? Do you know that, well, and then that puts questions into people's heads as they hear what Trump's surrogates have to say uncontested. But it goes even deeper than that, because that's not enough to change the message or to change people's psyche about what's really going on. The right is so much better at going to the grassroots of their people. The rural areas we leave unchecked. We leave the rural areas as, well, forget about those people. Look, if we forget about those people, we leave a vacuum. And that vacuum in all your little rural areas are filled by Republicans. They invest in the mom and pop bloggers. They invest in the mid-range bloggers. They invest in the local newspaper. They invest in all these areas that touches people. They invest in talking to people. Our consultants, meaning the consultants of the left, or not the left, but the consultants of the Democratic Party, it is true that they do not invest in the small. They invest in high-powered consulting. They invest in all these types of things. But the ones who are touching the people, the different organizations around the cities, the different organizations around the counties, they are scrapping for money to do the job that they're currently doing, many for free, as these consultants out there in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere are getting $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to tell the party about people they know nothing about. Do you want to know why Donald Trump is ahead? He's ahead because the investments is made, not the things that you see on TV, but the emails, the blogging, the going to the Rotary clubs, and all these other areas that they invest in adds up. And when you do that, you are always in the game. We better learn that lesson quick. Invest in all the avenues that move us forward. But Dana Bash, what she did with those two sides is no different than what happens on MSNBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, and all the other stations. They have a bias towards the right in allowing them to tell their stories and questioning the stories of the middle and the left.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.